Yeah. Um, Ben Dixon has lost his hot damn mind. He's lost it, bro. He's lost it. The great unmasking continues. The great unmasking continues. Now, for those of you who are not who are not privy to what's been going on, Jimmy Dore introduced this strategy of, progressives using this little thing called the mandate. The same thing that they use to get paid, the same thing that they use to get these speaking engagements, the same thing that they use to get these millions of followers. Jimmy Dore suggested, in all of his selfishness, that in the middle of this pandemic that they say is threatening everybody's lives, that they push Nancy Pelosi to bring Medicare for all to a floor vote. I know, controversial, right? It really is apparently controversial. Now, even though Jimmy has been very clear what this is about at this point, I feel like most people have explained why they feel the way they do and why they agree with his stance. Not just me, not just Brie, but Dr. Cornel West. Hell, even Sam Cedar was agreeing with Jimmy, even though he still decided to attack him. Even Jake agreed with Jimmy. But somehow, some way, people like Ben continue to make this about Jimmy. In the clip I'm about to show you, though, Ben decided to come for the wrong one. And in one of the most disgusting ways. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Try my best not to attack black folks and give them space, but Briahna Joy Gray has jumped into this conversation as well. And she is coming on the side of, like she traditionally does, like, I have a complicated relationship with her in the sense of I consider her a colleague, but I also consider her wrong on a whole lot of issues. And this is the issue that she's wrong on. And she continuously is wrong on this issue. And she continuously serves the role as a black person who would be the spokesperson for white progressiveness that has not done away with their white supremacy. That role was mine, and I obviously turned it down.
Y'all heard that? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Y'all want to hear that again? Because I listen, before I go in, because y'all know I'm about to go in. Before I go in, I just want to make sure that we're clear about what we just heard, okay? So we're going to run that back.
Try my best not to attack black folks and give them space, but Briahna Joy Gray has jumped into this conversation as well. And she is coming on the side of, like she traditionally does, like, I have a complicated relationship with her in the sense of I consider her a colleague, but I also consider her wrong on a whole lot of issues. And this is the issue that she's wrong on. And she continuously is wrong on this issue. And she continuously serves the role as a black person who would be the spokesperson for white progressiveness that has not done away with their white supremacy. That role was mine, and I obviously turned it down.
So, to be clear, not only did Ben claim, or insinuate, I should say, that Brie is an Uncle Tom, effectively, it's what he claimed, right? And correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but that's effectively what he claimed. But he also effectively is claiming that Jimmy is also a white supremacist. And by extension, Ben is also all of a sudden having a problem with progressive white supremacy. First, let's go ahead and deal with this the big problem with this. Brie has not been wrong on a lot of issues. Actually, Brie has been wrong on maybe, and I don't want to say wrong, maybe we've disagreed on strategy on a couple of issues, but policy-wise, Brie's never been wrong. One of the reasons Brie is so wildly popular is because she hasn't been wrong on policy. Brie's been good on Julian Assange. Brie's been good on holding Joe Biden accountable. While Ben was propping up the literal and actual white supremacists and segregationists. Even if Brie was propping up progressive white supremacy, even though she is not, you were promoting actual white supremacy, Ben. This fact can't be lost upon you. You're I know you ain't that smart, but you're a little bit smarter than that. Boy, you are out here hitting your best Warren slide right now. For those of you who don't know, I'm gonna show you how to get it. It go right foot up, his slide. Basically, we saying Warren ain't choosing no sides. In case you don't know how the song goes, he was hitting that Warren slide, bro. As much as Brie has showed you love, even though I cringed every single time I saw it, but I know how Brie is. Brie is just all about spreading love. And even in response to Ben, whereas somebody like myself would have lit his ass up, she still handled herself with class and grace, and she looked honestly just more heartbroken and disappointed that he would even go that route. And then on top of the fact that Jimmy's a white supremacist now. Once again, like I said on my show a couple of days ago, when everybody was literally blacking me out from giving me interviews about my DNC fraud lawsuit that I started with Jared and Elizabeth Lee Beck, Jimmy was the first one with a major platform. The first one while everybody else was calling people, like they were calling journalists who were like taking credit for my lawsuit. And Jimmy called me personally to have me come on to his show and come to the studio and made sure that I was accredited with that. Jimmy probably had the same blind spots that everybody else, old white male in his age, has, but no. It's just crazy to me because like Jimmy got on like he just had on Cornel West yesterday. Obviously, just had on Brie. I talk to Jimmy regularly. Like white supremacist, bro. And also, why is this about Jimmy and what about Medicare for All has anything to do with white supremacy? And what about Brie going on his show to advocate for Medicare for All and convince other politicians to fight for Medicare for All in a pandemic that they literally use this to virtue signal to us every day to we must demand everybody stay on quarantine. We must demand everybody shut down their businesses. We must demand everybody can you give us health care so we can make sure to do preventative maintenance? Whoa, that's a step too far, guys. That's fascism. That's dictatorial. We can't have no Medicare for All. That's what Brie goes on to argue, is that we need Medicare for All now. You know, the same thing that AOC used to argue, and we can't wait. And so Ben decides that means white supremacy. Actually, that's what she's doing. She's propping up white supremacy. You know what? Speaking of propping up white supremacy, let's go ahead and talk about that. Ben used to love him some Elizabeth Warren, y'all. Y'all know that? Y'all know that? I tell people this, and people, because he wasn't getting all the love he was getting when he, went full Bernie bro, whenever he was riding Elizabeth Warren's jockstrap. Now, here you see him saying Sanders and Warren will both preserve capitalism and save itself by giving people who otherwise would be ready to turn the system down just enough material benefit to chill. Inherent in capitalism is white supremacy. I feel like Ben's read a couple of books. Like, capitalism uses racism and white supremacy to prop itself up. Capitalism uses sexism to prop itself up. Capitalism uses ableism to prop itself up. Inherent in capitalism is exactly why people who shall not be named will say that dirty, that Venezuelan socialism and that Bolivian socialism, we're not talking about that. We're talking about that good old white Scandinavian socialism. That's the kind of socialism we want. Capitalism instills that mindset, that white supremacist mindset. And here we have been propping up capitalism. And that's just the first part. Let's go ahead and go back to the Warren part. Because Warren? Oh, so Brie is actually being used as a tool to prop up progressive white supremacy. Interesting. Let's go ahead and check out another tweet from Ben. That's interesting. The thing about the accusations that I'm a Bernie supporter is that I took an inordinate amount of time to come out in support of him and regularly critique him. So he's telling you here, yeah, I was actually a Warren guy and I was criticizing him more than I was criticizing Warren. That, and I was seriously considering Warren, in case you think I'm putting words in his mouth. Many of my closest friends support her and we're absolutely still family. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. Elizabeth Warren showed a friend of mine some real love during an extremely tough time, and that means everything to me. So when I see her dancing or taking selfies, I'm not the least bit bothered, and she looks authentic. Our lenses determine how we see a thing. Well, you sound like you was taking notes out of Warren's bullshit handbook. Now, we got that out the way. Question real quick, Ben. Answer me this. Where was Elizabeth Warren at during Standing Rock? Where was she at? Oh, actually, she was nowhere to be found. Oh, no. It's not that she wasn't nowhere to be found. She wasn't nowhere to be found at Standing Rock. However, she did not mind making sure the media knew workers should be allowed to work. As indigenous women were getting their arms shot off and their eyes shot out, and people were being shot with water cannons. And, having their land stolen from them. As Elizabeth Warren pretended to be Native American, while plagiarizing recipes and making money off of a cookbook called Pow Wow Chow. Now, after she gets exposed and then tells another Cherokee woman who asked her merely to apologize, she wouldn't even apologize. What she said was, I know my family, I know my history. That's what she said. Wouldn't even own up to the shit she did. Took jobs pretending to be an indigenous woman. Then throws them under the bus. And you know what reeks of white supremacy is when you can take jobs pretending to be an indigenous woman, get money and scholarships pretending to be an indigenous woman, literally plagiarize recipes in a cookbook while pretending to be an indigenous woman, and then somehow, some way, little Theo Thumbs like yourself still pretend as if you were not enabling white supremacy and that her very presence on that stage as if she was some type of legitimate candidate isn't and only entirely due to white supremacy. To be frank, she was just as unlikable in reality as Kamala was. But sometimes you gotta sprinkle a little white to make it right. If a black person had pretended to do what she'd done, oh, you know what? Matter of fact, Kamala, the entire election, did try to pretend that she had the shared African-American experience after being raised in Montreal. And of course it showed that she had not. Just off of that, 1-2% black vote by the time it was all said and done. That, and of course, thanks to Tulsi for wrecking her career. But Elizabeth Warren was able to make it all the way to the primary, all the way to Super Tuesday. And even had people like you trying to convince the world that she was progressive. If that's not a progressive propping up white supremacy, then I don't really know what is, Ben. But I think that, you and I both know that, right? Because this really isn't about white supremacy. What it's about is Jimmy is becoming more and more and more popular because he decided to take a stand with his platform. And there is nothing negative about that. There's nothing, zero negative about that. If anything, my biggest complaint about the white neo-progressive males and women sometimes, on Twitter is that they don't use their platform to say, damn all that playing with me on Twitch shit. Damn all that. Don't fight for something. And if you're not going to fight for something, I guess we're going to have to fight you too. Not literally, but politically. That's what we need more of. But instead, the little bit of a platform that you do have, thanks to TYT, finally, after nobody acknowledged your existence before, the little bit of a platform you do have, you decided to use to prop up white supremacy. And although I have my problems with Bernie, you propped up the one person who you knew could legitimately take the youth vote away from Bernie. And you knew this. And you did it anyway. You popped up on MSNBC and talked shit about Bernie anyway. You went up on MSNBC and propped up Elizabeth Warren anyway. And yet you have the unmitigated gall to tell the world that it's actually Brie who's propping up white supremacy. It's actually Brie instead. It's funny because I don't know if you noticed, but you've been a little bit quiet about Warren because, you know, it's not really popular to like Warren anymore. See, unfortunately, whenever Warren dropped her new track, The Warren Slide, in the club, it didn't get that many hits. It didn't do as well. It didn't do as well as she thought it would. She thought the hit. She thought, should I do the Egyptian thing with the his slide? His slide didn't work out that well. And then Drake just took it after that, and then he made the Tootsie Slide, and so that one was a little bit more attractive to the young folks. So, you know, the his slide didn't work out that well. She's not that popular anymore. So Ben decided I'm not going to talk about Elizabeth Warren anymore. But just because you don't talk about her, don't mean that we don't keep receipts. Don't mean that we don't keep them damn receipts. Yes, we keep receipts, Ben. You were the one, in fact, propping up white supremacy. You were the one, in fact, who propped up a white woman who took advantage of indigenous people for profit and then threw them under the bus. And then protected that white supremacy by pretending it never happened. You protected that by pretending it never happened. Oh, why? Because it happened to indigenous people, it didn't matter? Is that what it is? Oh, so only the form of white supremacy that stops you from making money is the kind of white supremacy you don't like. Bro, you sound like a jealous little bitch boy. I don't know what else to say about it. You sound like a jealous little bitch boy. You sound like a punk ass. Get out of everybody else's pockets. Get out of everybody else's business. Like, and get out your damn feelings. We get it. You don't like Jimmy. No one cares, bro. Like, no one cares. So you want to even throw people who showed you the respect you never deserved under the bus because you don't like Jimmy? What does that have to do with Medicare for all? What does that have to do with Medicare for all, bro? You got more animosity for Jimmy than the politicians who claim they were going to go to Washington and fight. And they're throwing our healthcare under the bus in the middle of a pandemic, and you're mad at Jimmy Dore right now. You're calling Brie Joy Gray and Uncle Tom right now. That's where your heart is? That's where your mind is? That's where your priorities are? Bro, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here. You're not serious, man. Mitch Osborne, thank you very much. How much sheep has been doing to Cornel West? I assume none. Mitch, you were absolutely right. I talked about that a little bit earlier. But you are absolutely right. Of course, Ben isn't saying a damn thing about Cornel West because he knows better. And to be honest with you, I thought that he would have known better about Brie. Because, like, to be frank, there's a huge sect of the left that basically feels like Brie is off limits. Like, no, you don't get to attack a journalist who got thrown under the bus by Bernie, who's been using her platform that she got from being on Bernie's campaign to trash Joe Biden when y'all propped up a segregationist. You don't get to do that. No. And then not criticize her, critique her or on the merits of her position, but instead insinuate that she's an Uncle Tom propping up white supremacy and being used by progressive white supremacists. Meanwhile, the frequencer of Sam Cedar's show The white boy socialist gang, who feel like they're socialists, have no idea what it is. The same one who props up Sam Cedar. The same one who propped up Elizabeth Warren. The same one who propped up CYT. Boy looking like a whole ass Metro token. That's for the subway, for you non-New Yorkers. Calling man the Metro token black man. I'm gonna show this to y'all one more time. For those of you who didn't get to see it, I'm gonna show it to y'all one more time because y'all gonna think I'm lying. Y'all think I'm exaggerating. I know y'all do. I know how this one y'all be. It's okay. I got you. Don't even stress it. Don't even stress it. I got you. Watch it one more time, and we're gonna get up out of here.
Try my best not to attack black folks and give them space, but Briahna Joy Gray has jumped into this conversation as well. And she is coming on the side of, like she traditionally does. Like, I have a complicated relationship with her in the sense of I consider her a colleague, but I also consider her wrong on a whole lot of issues. And this is the issue that she's wrong on. And she continuously is wrong on this issue. And she continuously serves the role as a black person who would be the spokesperson for white progressiveness that has not done away with their white supremacy. That role was mine, and I obviously turned it down.
What he meant was Warren obviously lost, so I don't have that role anymore. Mitch Osborne, thank you very much for the super chat. My B coming in late from YouTube notification. Did we compare Ben to Jason Johnson yet? Nope, I was just about to do so. Mitch always be coming in here and be preempting my shit. It's okay. I like Mitch. But Mitch be knowing. That's when you know somebody watching my show too much. Because Mitch will literally say exactly what I'm about to say and then say it in the super chat before you take my thunder away. Mitch, you take it away. Big Irv, man. I told you not to fall in that 10 black trap. And yeah, I can't believe this bum is trying Brie. I know. Jason Johnson Jr. Man, see? Even when these little crooked ass pastors become journalists, they still stay crooked ass pastors. Low, baby Jesus. Fix it. Brie, we got your back, homie. We got your back. Don't sweat them. Don't sweat these haters. Jimmy, same thing. We know what time it is with them. They're just exposing themselves. The great unmasking continues. I gotta get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all follow. Make sure y'all subscribe. Of course, you can support the show by scanning that Rockfin link and become a Rockfin Premium member, or you can donate to us on Patreon, Cash App. You can follow us on Odyssey as well. And of course, you can click on the link in the description below if you're not like watching from your TV and you can't scan the QR code. All right. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, always remember more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. If you like that segment of Mikasa and Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockfin Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else,
always remember,
find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.